For decades, America and citizens of the world have been screaming about how the uber wealthy and those in power are ripping off those they are supposed to serve. Pair that with other filthy rich who hide their cash, don't pay taxes, and do it all legally. Now there's proof. But what will the Panama Papers actually change, if anything? Donald Trump seems to be changing his tone ever so slightly, and even hinted he, unlike the Fonz, may have even been wrong. But the same Republicans who swallowed all the polling info that brought Trump to this point need to take in what the numbers are saying right now. They say Trump cannot win in November. And then there's the cry about China beating us in every facet of the economy, in essence winning. But what are the facts? The facts about a sport that cheats more often and better than any politician, the lies of college basketball that become more apparent every year at this time. Face the facts, question everything. I'm Ed Berliner. This is The Hardline for Monday, April 4th, 2016.
It's being called the Panama Papers.
The Panama Papers.
The Panama Papers.
11 million Panama Papers, to be precise.
Reveal how a Central American law firm helped heads of the state hide riches through shell companies.
Using Panama as a large tax evasion center.
This appears to be the biggest leak of financial documents ever.
Exposing the secret financial dealings
of more than 140 government officials and politicians around the world.
I see this as the biggest challenge to the trillion-dollar offshore tax haven industry since the Swiss bank secrecy laws were changed.
On the surface, this is nothing new, not one bit. For years, decades, generations, the wealthy and those seeking to hide their wealth have been stashing their cash in overseas banks or shell companies, allowing them to hide money from creditors, the government, ex-wives, but also to take the money received from illegal activities and keep it working for them where no one would ask questions. Again, nothing new. Until now. A group calling itself the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists teamed up with more than 400 journalists in 80 countries, getting their hands on a treasure trove of confidential files from inside a very secretive and until now private Panamanian law firm named Mossack Fonseca, a leak that has been dubbed the Panama Papers, connected to the president of Russia and other high-ranking government officials, and others believing their illegal activities using legal means would never be uncovered. It is a story that has rocketed around the globe and could take decades to unravel. Let's welcome a gentleman who understands this high level of political play. Former Hungarian Ambassador to the United States and now Managing Director for Transatlantic Relations at Johns Hopkins University, Ambassador András Simonyi. Ambassador, it's always a pleasure to see you, and you certainly know the world scene when it comes to this. As I pointed out, this is really nothing new. We have known that people have been hiding money for decades. But what is the impact of this, especially when we see it is connected to government agents, government agencies, presidents, and it goes right up on the doorstep of Vladimir Putin?
Well, I'm not surprised at Vladimir Putin being involved in this, but I'm certainly surprised at some of the other names that have come up. In some cases, this is not unusual, but in other cases, this really cuts to the core of things. It's politics, it's corruption, and it's also morality. And in some cases, I would say that the damage is huge, especially when it comes to some of the democracies that are so close to our family.
Does it not tell us, though, that specifically with regard to Putin, his name doesn't appear in any of the records, but it's linked to people who might have helped launder more than $2 billion? We're talking about money, aren't we, that could be used for anything. This is more than just divorce cases. We're talking about money that can be used for drugs, weapons, any sort of influence that can help you buy that sort of thing around the world, yes?
Well, I think this is related to the personal wealth of some politicians. Why this is really immoral in the case of Putin is because he is running a country that is about to collapse. It's on the verge of economic collapse. Some parts of the country are really suffering economically, and then you have a leader who directly or indirectly stows away $2 billion. That's really immoral. But you know what? I'm not surprised.
Is it not fair to say that when you get close to people of power, And I'm going to bring in Vladimir Putin in this. We've had at least one instance and at least, well, maybe two in the last several years about people who were close to Putin at one point who have wound up dead. Is it not fair to say that we are dealing in the kind of power that could see bodies being left in the wake of this sort of an investigation? These people are not nice people. They're serious about holding on to their money and their power.
Well, they're not nice people, but I would say that why this is so important is because it's not just one investigative journalist. It's not a Russian investigative journalist, but this is an international operation by investigative journalists. And I think this says a lot about why our democracies are able to fight back. Whether we do it institutionally, whether we do it through our agencies, or whether we do it through our journalists, this is really, really important. I think we need to push back. There is nothing more devastating and more damaging than corruption. And so I think that is why this is so important. And it's not just about Vladimir Putin. You will see some dead bodies fall out of the closet very, very soon, and it's not going to be a beautiful story. But you know what? I think this is good. It's happening.
About 45 seconds left. Do you believe, though, that this will actually start the wheels turning and it will be more than just this one instance, that it will actually get worldwide investigators involved in busting these crooks?
I think so. I think so, and it is very important. And I think there are a lot of politicians that should start thinking about how they will get out of this, including some countries in Europe, including some countries in Central Europe that that are part of the democratic family of nations. So, therefore, this is really, really important. I might even add, maybe historic.
It is indeed, because people are already talking about how long it's going to take to unravel all of this. Ambassador András Simonyi, I want to thank you so much for giving your perspective on this. I look forward to speaking to you again soon.